Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. In the United States, the big story continues to be the weather. About 75 million Americans are today under threat of severe weather, today being Tuesday. Apparently, some 29 people at minimum have been killed as a result of tornadoes. People from the Great Lakes to the Gulf Coast and from the Midwest to the East Coast are being advised to keep their eyes on the sky and their ears on the radio. That's a third of the country. The first 2 days of this powerful spring storm system has affected mostly the deep south. Mississippi and Alabama and Arkansas have been in the bullseye for the worst of the storms. As of now, as mentioned, 29 have been killed in at least 6 states. People across the whole southern region are huddled in hallways and basements at the moment, watching the skies and listening to the Weather Channel. Also in Atlanta, just outside of the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, there was a shooting at a Federal Express facility this morning. Apparently, 6 people had been brought to the hospital. There have been no reports of any deaths yet, other than the shooter, who apparently died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The people who have been shot apparently are other Federal Express employees. This has taken place at the Airport Road FedEx facility in Kennesaw, Georgia, just outside the airport's grounds. The economy in Britain and the United Kingdom has grown by 0.8% in the first quarter of this year. It's recovered much of the ground it lost during the financial crisis in 2008-2009. The National Statistics Office said that all major industrial sectors, excluding agriculture, posted gains, with the services industry coming in at 0.9% of an increase. Unlike the U.S. and Germany, the British economy still remains smaller than it was in 2008 when the global financial crisis hit, but according to the Statistics Office, it is now only 0.6% below its peak in 2008. That's very good news for David Cameron's government, for sure. Hamilton Insurance Group CEO Brian Duperreault down in Bermuda, according to the Insurance Insider, has made an approach for the Lloyd's carrier Barbican. Sources said that the former Ace and Marsh McLennan CEO contacted Barbican's Texas-based backer Carlson Capital about a possible acquisition. Duperreault's attempts to feel out Barbican follow an approach to Brit Insurance before Brit's IPO earlier this year. The Insider had reported earlier this year as well that Duperreault had made a trip to London in January, gathering intelligence about the state of the M&A market at Lloyd's. Sources say that Duperreault may have close to $1 billion US of funds available to support an M&A, with little more than half again on top of that pledged if he can find the right deal. He's obviously looking for a Lloyd's syndicate. It's thought that Hamilton is looking to acquire both a Lloyd's business and a U.S. insurance business to complement the Bermuda reinsurance operation that it's set up already. Barbican had a 2014 stamp capacity of £217 million. A British Aerospace 146 jet, four-engine jet that took off from Perth, Australia this morning, had to make an emergency landing after one of its engines caught on fire. It had 97 people on board. According to passengers on board, fuel started spewing out of the engine, catching on fire. There was a bit of a panic on board, but the pilots were quick to react, cut fuel lines, put it out, and we just turned around and came back. There was an engine failure and explosion aboard a ferry plying the water in the Baltic between Copenhagen and Oslo late Sunday night. The ferry was the Crown Seaways. An explosion could be felt throughout the ship. Smoke was found on many of the decks. The crew put the fire out, and the ferry actually arrived in Oslo on time. There were no injuries or damage reported other than to the crankcase in the engine room that exploded. That's the news for today. We'll keep an eye on the weather. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. President Obama is in the air now, returning home after his four-nation Asian trip. He arrives sometime later this afternoon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.